What if I told you that some of the most famous images of our solar system are hiding secrets that completely change how we understand our cosmic neighborhood? While millions of people have seen these stunning photographs from space, very few know the incredible stories of sacrifice, near disasters, and unexpected discoveries that made them possible. Today, we're going behind the scenes of the most shocking images ever captured in our solar system. And I promise you, you'll never look at these planets the same way again. When you see a beautiful image of Saturn's rings or Jupiter's swirling storms, you're looking at more than just a pretty picture. You're witnessing the culmination of decades of engineering, the result of spacecraft that traveled billions of miles, and sometimes the final transmission of a probe moments before its destruction. These images represent humanity's greatest achievements in space exploration, but they also reveal mysteries that scientists are still struggling to explain. From geometric storm patterns that defy physics to disappearing planetary features that shouldn't be possible, the story behind these images is far more fascinating than the pictures themselves. Let's dive into the untold stories and hidden secrets that make these photographs truly extraordinary. The sun isn't just a ball of fire in the sky. It's a nuclear furnace, unleashing the equivalent of 1 trillion atomic bombs every single second. And the images we've captured reveal just how violent and unpredictable our star really is. When the Solar Dynamics Observatory captured that famous coronal mass ejection in August 2012, what most people don't realize is that this wasn't just a beautiful light show. That eruption was traveling at over 900 miles per second, and if it had been aimed directly at Earth, it could have knocked out power grids across entire continents, sending us back to the Dark Ages in an instant. What makes these solar images truly terrifying is what they reveal about our vulnerability. Scientists studying these photographs have discovered that the sun goes through cycles of activity that we still don't fully understand. There are periods when these massive eruptions become more frequent, and we have no way to predict exactly when the next big one will hit Earth. The beautiful filaments of plasma you see dancing across the sun's surface in these images are actually magnetic field lines that can snap without warning, releasing energy equivalent to millions of nuclear weapons. Every time we look at these stunning solar images, we're essentially watching a cosmic time bomb that could disrupt our entire technological civilization at any moment. The story of Messenger spacecraft is one of the most poignant in space exploration history, and it reveals something profound about how we explore the solar system. This spacecraft spent 4 years orbiting Mercury, taking over 200,000 images, and the entire time everyone involved knew exactly how it would end. The probe was on a suicide mission from the start. As it ran out of fuel, it began a slow death spiral toward the planet's surface, and in those final moments, it transmitted one last image, the highest resolution photograph of Mercury ever captured. But here's what makes this story truly remarkable. That final image wasn't just a lucky shot. The engineers programmed Messenger to use its very last moments to capture something scientifically valuable, even as it was plummeting to its doom. The spacecraft was designed to make its death useful. When you look at those images of Mercury's cratered surface, you're not just seeing an alien world, you're seeing the dedication of scientists who planned every detail, knowing their creation would be destroyed. The Van Eyck crater and the massive Caloris Basin, with its mountains towering over a mile high, these features tell us that Mercury has been bombarded by asteroids for billions of years, and each impact crater is like a frozen moment in time, preserving the violent history of our solar system's formation.
What's even more fascinating is what MESSENGER revealed about Mercury's magnetic field. This tiny planet, closest to the Sun and baked by radiation, somehow generates a magnetic field, which shouldn't be possible for a world this small. The images MESSENGER sent back are helping scientists rewrite the rules of planetary formation, suggesting that our understanding of how planets develop their magnetic properties is fundamentally incomplete.
When people think about the space race, they usually think about the moon landing, but one of the most impressive achievements in space exploration happened on Venus, and it was accomplished by the Soviet Union. The Venera 13 probe was designed to survive for just 30 minutes on the surface of Venus, a planet so hot that lead melts like water, and the atmospheric pressure is equivalent to being 900 meters underwater. The fact that this probe was even built is astounding, because Venus is essentially a vision of hell made real. But here's where the story gets incredible. Venera 13 didn't just survive for 30 minutes. It kept transmitting for over 2 hours, far exceeding its design specifications. And in that time, it sent back the first color images from the surface of another planet. When you look at those images, you're seeing a landscape where the temperature is 880 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to bake a pizza in seconds. The probe had to be built like a tank, with layers of insulation and cooling systems that could barely keep the internal electronics from melting. What those images revealed shocked scientists. Venus, which is often called Earth's sister planet because of its similar size, is actually our evil twin. The surface shows evidence of massive volcanic activity, with lava channels stretching for thousands of miles. One channel measures 5,550 miles long, longer than the distance from New York to London. The images from the Magellan spacecraft later confirmed that Venus underwent a catastrophic resurfacing event in its past, where the entire planet's crust essentially melted and reformed. This raises a terrifying question. Could Earth experience something similar? Scientists studying these images are trying to understand what went wrong with Venus, because billions of years ago, it might have been habitable, with oceans and a temperate climate. Something transformed it into a hellscape, and we need to understand what happened so we can prevent it from happening to us. Now let's talk about something controversial. In 2011, a Russian satellite called Electro-L captured images of Earth that many people claimed looked completely different from NASA's images. These photographs sparked a debate that still simmers in certain circles today. Some people argued that the Russian images showed features and colors that weren't visible in NASA's photos, leading to wild speculation about what's really being shown to the public. NASA maintained that their images were accurate and that any differences were due to different imaging techniques and color calibrations.
But here's what's really interesting about this controversy. It reveals a fundamental truth about space photography that most people don't understand. Every single image you see of Earth or any planet is not a true photograph in the traditional sense. These are composite images built from multiple exposures taken through different filters, then combined and color-corrected by scientists. The colors you see are often enhanced or adjusted to highlight certain features. When NASA releases a stunning image of Earth showing the Americas, they're making artistic and scientific decisions about how to present that data. This doesn't mean the images are fake, but it does mean they're interpretations of reality, not pure, unfiltered snapshots. The MESSENGER spacecraft's postcard image of Earth and the Moon, sent before it sped toward Mercury, shows just how small and fragile our world looks from space. That single photograph captures both planets in one frame, making Earth look like a tiny blue marble floating in an infinite cosmic ocean.
When astronauts and cosmonauts talk about the overview effect, the profound shift in perspective that comes from seeing Earth from space, these are the images they're describing. From out there, all our conflicts and divisions seem absurd because you can see the entire planet at once with no visible borders, no separate nations, just one small world that we all share. The images from the Curiosity rover on Mars represent something unprecedented in human history. For the first time, we have a mobile robot on another planet, actively exploring and documenting its surroundings in real time. And it even took a selfie. That selfie isn't just a fun publicity stunt, it's actually a crucial diagnostic tool that allows engineers to check the rover's condition and look for any damage or wear on its components. But what's truly mind-blowing is the panoramic view that Curiosity created, a 1.8 billion pixel image stitched together from over 1,200 individual photographs. When you look at that panorama, you're seeing Mars as a real place, not just an abstract concept. You can see the texture of the rocks, the red dust on the ground, the distant mountains on the horizon. It looks hauntingly similar to deserts on Earth, which raises profound questions about why these two planets ended up so differently. Mars once had liquid water flowing across its surface. The Viking orbiters captured images of Valles Marineris, a canyon system so vast it makes the Grand Canyon look like a small ditch. This canyon stretches for thousands of miles and reaches depths of up to 7 miles in some places. What could have created such a massive geological feature?
The images from Mars Express and the various rovers have revealed something startling. Mars didn't just lose its water gradually. Something catastrophic happened that stripped away most of its atmosphere in a relatively short period of geological time. Scientists studying these images are piecing together a story of planetary catastrophe, where Mars went from a potentially habitable world with rivers and possibly even oceans to a frozen desert in just a few 100 million years. The images show ancient river valleys, dried lake beds, and mineral deposits that could only form in the presence of water. Every photograph from Mars is a piece of evidence in a cosmic detective story, and the answer to what happened there might hold the key to understanding Earth's own future.
When the Juno spacecraft captured images of Jupiter's North Pole, astronomers were stunned by what they saw. There are 8 massive storms, each larger than Earth, arranged in a precise geometric pattern around a central storm. This shouldn't be possible. Weather patterns don't naturally organize themselves into perfect geometric arrangements. On Earth, storms are chaotic and irregular, yet on Jupiter, these enormous cyclones have maintained their positions and formation for years, possibly centuries or even longer. The images Juno sent back are forcing scientists to completely rethink their understanding of planetary atmospheres and fluid dynamics. These aren't temporary weather patterns that will dissipate. They appear to be permanent features of Jupiter's atmosphere, stable fixtures that defy our models of how atmospheric systems should behave. Some scientists have suggested that there might be deeper mechanisms at work, possibly related to Jupiter's powerful magnetic field, or the planet's internal heat generation. But the truth is, nobody knows for certain why this geometric pattern exists. The Great Red Spot, that famous storm that's been raging for 350 years, is another mystery revealed by modern imaging. Recent photographs from both Juno and the Hubble telescope show that the storm is shrinking. It's still large enough to swallow Earth whole, but it's getting smaller, and scientists don't know why. Is it running out of energy? Is Jupiter's atmosphere changing? The images we're capturing now might be documenting the death of a storm that's older than the United States, older than most human civilizations.
In 100 years, the Great Red Spot might be gone entirely, and these photographs will be all we have left of one of the solar system's most iconic features.
The Cassini mission to Saturn gave us some of the most breathtaking images in space exploration history, but it's the final image, transmitted moments before the spacecraft burned up in Saturn's atmosphere, that holds the most emotional weight. After 13 years of orbiting Saturn, taking hundreds of thousands of photographs, and revolutionizing our understanding of the ringed planet, Cassini was deliberately crashed into Saturn to prevent any possibility of contaminating Saturn's moons with Earth microbes.
That backlit image of Saturn, where the spacecraft positioned itself so the sun was behind the planet, revealing the ring system in a way never before possible, is more than just a beautiful photograph. It shows structures in the rings that are invisible from Earth. Faint outer rings and gaps that tell us the rings are far more complex than anyone imagined. Scientists studying these images have discovered that Saturn's rings are dynamic, constantly changing as particles collide and small moons shepherd material into different orbits. But perhaps the most mysterious image from Cassini shows the hexagonal vortex at Saturn's North Pole. This is a geometric storm pattern similar to what we see on Jupiter, but even stranger because it's a perfect hexagon. Each side of this hexagon is wider than Earth's diameter. Weather systems on Earth don't form hexagons. They form circles and ovals and irregular shapes. Yet on Saturn, this hexagon has been stable for decades, and scientists still can't fully explain how it maintains its shape. Some have theorized that it's related to jet streams in Saturn's atmosphere interacting in unusual ways. But creating a hexagonal flow pattern in laboratory experiments has proven extremely difficult. Saturn's hexagon remains one of the most visually striking and scientifically puzzling features in the entire solar system. These images from our solar system represent more than just scientific achievements. They're testaments to human curiosity, ingenuity, and our relentless drive to explore the unknown. Every photograph tells a story of sacrifice, whether it's a spacecraft deliberately destroyed to capture one final image, or probes that exceeded their design specifications because they were built by people who cared deeply about discovery. As we look toward the future, new missions are being planned that will capture even more incredible images. Future probes might visit the ice moons of Jupiter and Saturn, searching for life in the oceans beneath their frozen surfaces. We might finally send a dedicated mission to Uranus and Neptune, planets that have only been visited once by Voyager 2.
And then there's the possibility of breakthrough technologies like nanoprobes with light sails, tiny spacecraft that could reach other star systems within decades rather than millennia. Imagine the images we could capture from planets orbiting Proxima Centauri, our nearest neighboring star system. We could photograph alien worlds for the first time, seeing landscapes that no human has ever imagined. The images we've discussed today are just the beginning of humanity's cosmic photo album. Every new mission adds more pages, revealing more secrets, raising more questions, and inspiring the next generation to continue exploring. The solar system is vast and filled with wonders we've only begun to understand. And the best images, the most shocking discoveries, are still waiting to be captured. That's the true magic of space exploration. No matter how much we learn, there's always something new to discover. Something that will make us stop and stare and wonder at the incredible universe we call home.